Hello once again, everyone. This is Teacher Len, and today we're back in our sentence railroad. So last time we talked about the subject and the predicate, and we said that we're only going to allow choo-choo trains to enter the sentence railroad if we have a complete sentence. Now today we're going to talk about subjects and verbs and the great divide, which means that we have to treat subjects and verbs differently for them to be in harmony. And we start by making sure that they agree with each other. The first thing to consider is that subjects are actually nouns, and that predicates usually start with a verb. So essentially, we have subject nouns and predicate verbs. Now, if they don't agree, we are in big trouble. Thunder sound effects. Okay, so let's talk about nouns first. Now, nouns have what we call number, so which means that nouns can be just one, or they can be more than one, or two or more. So there is a rule that we have to follow here. If nouns are just one, we don't really put an S or ES after them. But if they are more than one, or two or more, then we have to put an S. So we call nouns which are just one singular. And we call nouns that are one or more than one, or two or more, we call them plural. So let's look at this example. If you say boy, you're just referring to just one, or singular. If you say boys, you're referring to more than one boy or two or more boys, and we call that plural. And this rule applies to most nouns, like girl, girls. Okay, read with me. Bear, bears. See? Ant, ants. Now sometimes, instead of S, we add ES. Like in the case of box, if it's just one box. And boxes, if it's more than one or two or more boxes. The same principle applies to the word pass. If it's just one, it's pass. If it's more than one, it's passes. If it's a singular or one church, you say church. But there's more than one or two or more, you say churches. Also, here, cup, cups. If it's your left shoe or your right shoe, it's just a shoe. But if you put them together, yes, you have shoes. And even longer words like computer and computers. So this is the rule. If the noun is singular, there is no S. If the noun is plural, there is an S or ES. Now let's look at the verbs. This is what confuses many kids because the rule is opposite. If you are referring to just one, with verbs, you have to put an S. So if the verb has to be together with the noun, the verb has to agree with the noun, right? So let's look at this example. The verb plays is actually one or singular, and it goes with a singular subject noun. And the word play is plural, or more than one, or two or more. And the word play goes with a plural subject noun. And this applies to most verbs. You have buys as singular, buy as plural. Fixes as singular and fix as plural. Notice that sometimes we put an es too, aside from, the general rule s. Eats, if it's just paired with a subject noun that is singular, and eat if the subject noun is plural, and it applies to the rest. Draws, singular, draw, plural. Writes, write. Studies, study. Answers, answer. Talks, talk. Cooks, cook. Now there's a special rule for the word study, as you see, because if we make the word study singular, we have to drop the y and add an ies. You have those in your grammar book, so you can review them. Again, with verbs, if it is paired with a singular subject noun, you have to put an s or es. If it is paired with a plural subject noun, you cannot put an s. Let's take another look, especially for the younger kids. This is great for you to know. Subjects, if you're referring to them as just one, remember subjects are nouns, right? You say boy, ant, Tim, that's the name of a boy, and girl. But if they are plural, or more than one, or two or more, you say boys, ants. Well, of course, you cannot say Tims, right? So we have to give Tim a friend. Say Tim and John. They become plural now because they are more than one, right? And girls is also plural. Let's look at the other side. There, verbs. If it's just one, you say plays, marches, eats, dances. If it should be paired with the plural subject noun, if it's more than one or two or more, then we say play or march, eat, and dance. Now let's see them in sentences. Ta-da! The boy plays. See, you have a singular subject and a singular verb. But if you say the boys, you have to use the word play. See? The boys play. That's a plural subject and a plural verb. Let's have another one. The ant marches. But if there's so many of them, you say the ants march. Tim is just one, right? It's a name. So therefore, it should be paired with a singular verb, eats. Tim eats. Well, Tim is joined by his friend John, and they eat together. So you say Tim and John eat. The girl, singular, dances, singular. The girls, just a plural subject noun, dance. That's your plural verb. Okay, let's read them together. The boy plays. The boys play. The ant marches. The ants march. Tim eats. Tim and John eat. The girl dances. The girls dance. Easy, right? If you're not confused about the subject and the verb. Now, we also have special verbs. And I want you to know that when you see them in sentences, that they are actually verbs. Now, so many kids grow up and they still get confused because they don't know that other verbs can also be verbs without looking like an action verb. Okay, these are am, is, are, has, have, does, and do. Of course, there are other verbs out there, but these are the special verbs that I want you to know at this point. So am is usually used when you have a statement like, say, I am. So your subject is I. It usually goes with am. Say, for example, you say, I am Jenny. That's your name. Or you say, I am a girl. Now, if you're referring to singular subjects, you can also use is. Say, for example, Jenny is a girl. So what if Jenny is joined by her friend Terry? So you say, Jenny and Terry are girls. That's when you use are. So that's what you have to remember now. Is singular, are is plural. The same principle applies to has and have. Has and have are used when you refer to something that somebody owns. For example, Jenny has a new bag. Oh, but Jenny is joined by her friend. So you say, Jenny and Terry have new bags. See? So has is singular and have is plural. The same principle applies to does and do, but does here is actually singular. So you say, she does not want to go with me. See, she is actually singular. Or say, Jenny does not want to eat. Okay, but what if, Jenny is again joined by Terry? So you say, Jenny and Terry do not want to eat. Okay, so that's a new one too for you, right? Now let's see them in sentences. So sometimes you can best remember them when you see examples, right? Okay. I am a boy. Enola is smart. The boys are outside. The dog has a bone. Tim and John have pet dogs. It's becoming easier, right? So that's great. The little prince does not lie. Adults do strange things. I do not know. You are amazing. Okay, so we have to review that a little bit. Let's go back. There is a special rule in the English language. Whenever you use I and you have to use the plural form of the verb, even if you're just referring to one. This is just a special case. So every time you use you, for example, you say, you are amazing. You have rice on your face. So you always use it with the plural verbs. You will learn more of this in your grammar books. So let's practice. You can type or just say it aloud with your mom the correct answers. The little dog laughs at the funny cat. What is the correct form of the verb? Right. Should be laughs because dog is singular and laughs is singular. Let's have another one. Annie walks to the shop to buy her dad the newspaper. Which is the correct form of the verb? Yes, it's walks because Annie is singular and walks is a singular verb. Next, Mia and Mark is or are sitting together. We said that if we have two of them, it is plural. So therefore, we need a plural verb. Which one is plural again? Right. Are. So Mia and Mark are sitting together. Look at this worm. I envy him. Okay, Herman the worm is or are sitting on the chair. Or Herman is just one, right? So therefore, it should be is. Very good. Okay, for some of you, you may proceed with your activity for this lesson, especially if you're little ones. So you will be receiving your worksheets and handouts in your assigned emails given to mom. For the others who can, yay. Okay, let's continue and get to know a little bit more about subjects and verbs. Are you familiar with this symbol? For those of you who use it, well, I don't use it often, but it's like Facebook. This is called Instagram, but here we're going to use it for our lesson because we see so many posts that are grammatically wrong, and we just have to be aware that, well, they are wrong, and in academic writing, we shouldn't write that way. So we call this our Instagrammer. Okay, let's look at this post. So it says here, my dog growl when he is angry. Okay, even for the little ones, they know that this is wrong, right? Okay. Well, this is because, like we said, subjects and verbs must agree in number, and this is the cornerstone rule that, well, this is the cornerstone rule that forms the background of the concept. So, example, you say the dog growls when he is angry, or the dogs growl when they are angry. See? Number one, we just discussed it with the kids. Here's another post. The butterfly which is perched on the flowers are not that colorful. This is also wrong. Right. Why? Okay, so this is the rule. Don't get confused by the words that come between the subject and verb. They do not affect agreement. Example, the dog who is chewing on my jeans is usually very good. So we're going to look at the dog. The dog is your subject. And don't be confused by the words in between. And it has to agree with a singular verb, which is. Right? Okay. Let's look at another post. Wow! The colors of the rainbow is beautiful. This is grammatically wrong again. Okay. For the older ones, you studied this in Unboxing Writing 1 actually. The prepositional phrase, okay, between the subject and verb, usually, they do not affect agreement. For example, you say the colors of the rainbow are beautiful. Again, of the rainbow is a prepositional phrase, so don't mind it. It does not affect your subject and your verb. So in this case, your subject is plural colors, and therefore your verb should also be plural, which is are. Let's look at another post. Yes. Oh, so cute. The cat and dog is kind to each other. Now, the grammar is not cute here because it is wrong. Okay, so like we said earlier, if two subjects are joined by and, they typically require a plural verb form. Examples: the cow and the pig are jumping over the moon. The dog and cat are friendly to each other. Okay, let's look at another post. Ooh. Peanut butter and jelly is my favorite sandwich. Okay, so some of you might think that, well, this is wrong, maybe, or right. Okay, now, this is a tricky rule. The verb is singular if the two subjects separated by and, the word and, refer to the same person or thing. Oh, is that so? Yes. So you have, for example, peanut butter and jelly. And peanut butter and jelly are actually seen as one unit. And so therefore, you have to use the singular verb because it's just one. It's referring to, like, for example, you have a cousin. If your cousin is also your best friend, then that's just one person, right? So you have, say, for example, my sister and best friend. That's just one person. Is always there for me. So it really depends on what you want to say. So what if these are two people, teacher, and then you have to reword it? Then you say, my sister, Anna, and my best friend, Jenna, are always there for me. Then you're referring to two people, right? But if you're referring to just one person, but that person has two titles or relationships, with you, then you have to use the singular form of the verb, just like this. Okay, let's look at another tricky subject-verb agreement rule. So let's look at this post. So neither my mom nor my sisters wants to go with me. Again, this is heartbreaking because it is also wrong grammatically. Okay, so brace yourself for this rule. If one subject is singular and one is plural, and the words are connected by the words or, nor, neither, nor, or neither nor, either or, and not only but also, you use the verb form of the subject that is nearest the verb. This is such a mouthful, but let's look at it in an example. Neither my mom nor my sisters want to go with me. So you just have to ask yourself, okay, you have the neither nor here, right? Which subject noun is closest or nearest to the verb? Okay, you have the subject mom there and another subject, my sisters, there. But since sisters is nearest the verb want, then the verb want should be in the plural form because sisters is in plural form as well. So that is a rule, and it is non-negotiable. You just have to remember that. Okay, let's have this other post. Okay, each of them are gorgeous. Oh, because you're looking at a picture with two deer, so you might think that, well, we're referring to two animals, right? But nah. So here is the rule for that. Some subjects always take a singular verb, even though the meaning may seem plural. Well, these subjects always take singular verbs. Okay? For example, you have each, someone, either, anyone, neither, nobody, one, somebody, no one, anybody, everyone, everybody. Okay, so if you see these words and they are used as subjects, they are always singular. For example, each of them is gorgeous. So your subject is actually each, right? Remember, of them is your prepositional phrase. And each is always singular, so you have to use is. Okay? Okay, let's look at this post. Beauty and the Beast are my favorite movie. Ooh. Okay, so this does not really reflect good or correct grammar, because the rule says titles of books, movies, novels, etc. are treated as singular and take a singular verb, even if there are many supposedly nouns inside that title. As in the case of Beauty and the Beast. Okay, so you might think that there's beauty and there's beast, and so there are two, teacher. You said if there are two or more, then it should be plural, right? But if you're referring to it as a title, then it's just one title, right? So therefore, you should use the singular form of the verb. So Beauty and the Beast is my favorite movie. Okay, so there is also a handout and a worksheet for this presentation for you to be given in your assigned emails. But for the others, who are not really from the Victorious Homeschool Group, we still thank you for joining us today. And I hope to see you again when we share our lessons to other people. Okay, Victorious Homeschoolers, thank you. For the others, for other homeschoolers and students who are studying at home right now, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.